I can do this because we're married and I know that you'll forgive me, because this is truly hateful. But I think that you kind of, like, at least know what kind of person I am.
All right, we are now down at the table, and we have our most favorite woodland critters of the available options, perhaps. Let's find out who those are. Cori, welcome to Elder Dragon Social Club. What you rolling with?
I am rolling with Hazel of the Root Bloom.
Cool.
It's a squirrel druid for 2, a black and a green, and I can tap to pay 2 life, tap X untapped tokens you control, add mana in any combination of colors.
Okay.
And at the beginning of your end step, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. If that token is a squirrel, instead create 2 tokens that are copies of it.
All right, so tokens turn into more tokens, but squirrels turn into a lot more squirrels.
And it's a 3/5?
Oh, and it's a 3/5.
Okay.
That's big. That's a big squirrel.
That's
Okay.
a big squirrel.
Neat.
Not as big as those 2 free tokens at end step are going to be.
Yikes. Okay.
Nelson?
I'm playing Zinnia, Valley's Voice. Blue, red, white gets you a 1/3 legendary bird bard with flying, and Zinnia Valley's Voice gets +X+0, where X is the number of other creatures you control with base power 1. And creature spells you cast have offspring too. This means when you cast a creature spell, you may pay an additional 2 generic as you cast it to get a token copy that's a 1/1.
Wait, all your creatures get offspring?
Only while my commander is on the battlefield.
But it costs generic.
Yes, the generic mana, if I have 2 extra generic mana, every time I'm casting a creature, I can bring a little 1/1 baby version of that same creature onto the battlefield.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Zinnia likes to see all the babies and gets more power.
Great.
She's the stork. She's bringing babies.
Right.
Oh, right,
That's
okay.
the vibe, isn't it?
Kathleen, speaking of the vibes, what are you rocking with?
Well, I'm a happy little bunny. I'm just a friend to everyone.
Oh no.
Because I'm playing Ms. Bumbleflower. I'm a 1/5 rabbit with vigilance. And I say, whenever I cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. And then I put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Doesn't have to be mine. And that creature gains flying until end of turn. And if I can do that twice in a turn, then I get to draw 2 cards. So I'm going to draw cards, and you're going to draw cards, and some creatures are going to get bigger, and everyone's going to have a really nice time.
Okay.
I knew this would veer into creepy. I knew that people would be like, there's something underneath there. You're like a clown in a sewer luring me in. But I don't care. I'm having a nice time.
I'm concerned that if we pull off Ms. Bumbleflower's mask, it's just Nadu. It says twice each turn and draw cards.
Well, I'm here to eat trash. My commander is Bello, Bard of the Brambles, a 3/3 raccoon bard for 1 red-green. That says, during your turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental creature in addition to its other types, and has indestructible and haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Sorry, it has indestructible?
Indestructible, yeah. Only on my turn,
That sounds fair.
and it's non-equipment artifacts and non-aura enchantments.
With mana value 4 or greater.
Yes.
And then they're 4/4 haste indestructibles
Yeah.
that draw cards, but not trample
Yeah.
or flying.
Yeah.
Or menace, right?
Unless Kathleen gets to them.
Right.
That's true, unless Kathleen gives them flying.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I'm very generous.
Yeah, that'll be great. Well, I won the die roll, so I'm gonna start the game. I'm gonna draw a card, as tends to happen at the beginning of a game of Commander, and I'm gonna play this Temple of Abandon and scry. And I will, nope, I will put it on the bottom because otherwise I need a 4th land is what's going on here. And go ahead, Cori.
All right, gonna draw. Gonna play this Swamp and tap it to play this Soul Ring.
Very good.
Oh my goodness.
Sick of it.
Welcome to Elder Dragon Social Club, Cori.
What a first turn.
We hope that we are also welcome. I'm also going to scry one with Temple of Enlightenment and put this card on the bottom because it is not a land. Back to you, Kathleen.
All right, well, this is extremely powerful. I'm going to play a Thriving Grove, naming Blue, and say go.
All right. I'll untap and draw. I'm just going to spend the first couple turns slowly developing my mana, so I will play an Evolving Wilds and pass, and at some point in the turn cycle, I'm going to crack that for a mountain. Go ahead, Cori.
And tap, draw. I'm going to play a forest, and then tap a swamp and the Soul Ring to play a Woe Strider and get a goat.
Oh, goats, an underrepresented animal in Bloomburrow, but I guess they're not typically one of the charismatic woodland fauna.
I mean, I think our editor Matt would disagree that they're not charismatic.
Oh, I didn't say they weren't charismatic. I just mean they're not like, you know, you don't get goats in like Wind in the Willows or...
No, I mean, maybe as like a calamity that befalls the woodland folk.
Yeah.
Just some big dumb jerk coming through, screaming and eating the roof off your house because it's made of thatch. Just
Yeah, goats.
it's like a Godzilla to them.
Oh my goodness.
A Goatzilla.
That's terrifying.
I feel if there was a goat in Watership Down, it would have just been watching the bunnies flee and just like, yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm not really bothered by it.
Go.
Okay, goat to Nelson. Exotic Orchard. This taps for a mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce.
That's everything but white.
Great. I already have a white.
So you're fine.
I will also cast a Soul Ring.
Ooh.
And then I'll cast a Felwar Stone.
Ooh.
That can also tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce.
Oh.
And then I'll say go.
Why is your deck so keen on doing that?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it's just these 2 cards happen to both be in here.
All right.
Or maybe I'm about to give you all islands or something.
Canopy Vista enters the battlefield tap. This hand would have been so cracked with an untapped land.
Everybody found their soul rings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except for Graham.
everybody.
But go ahead.
He might have a command
One
tower.
un-
Maybe it's on top.
land.
Maybe it's on top.
Come on, Soul Ring. Well, all right. I just want to make sure that I hit the curve when I need to, so I'm going to play this Forgotten Cave tapped and pass it on. Go ahead, Cori.
Tap in. Draw. Go into combat.
Okay.
I will attack Kathleen for 3.
I take 3.
First blood.
The woe has been stridden.
Oh, that's fine.
Or stridden, perhaps.
I'm going to use this Soul Ring in Forest to cast Chatterfang Squirrel General.
Oh boy.
So it has Forest Walk, and if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead.
That many squirrels.
That
my.
many squirrels.
And what else does Chatterfang do?
Sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets plus X minus X until end of turn.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm going to play the Swarmyard as my land. Let's say go.
Okay. Can tap to regenerate squirrels,
Target insect, rat, spider, or squirrel.
but not goat or horror.
No.
Okay.
The new art on Swarmyard is kind of terrifying, but like a little cute. It's a bunch of like skeletons of the charismatic woodland creatures.
It looks like Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, but they seem fine. They're chill.
I'm sure they'll be fine. All right, so Kathleen has white mana.
Yeah. So you have everything.
Got all the mana. Well, does this make blue?
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool.
You're so good, but Nelson, cast a big thing.
I will. I'm going to spend 4 mana for Jazal Goldmane.
Oh boy.
This is Johnny's cousin,
Yeah.
aunt,
Brother.
mother-in-law.
Brother.
Okay, brother.
Brother.
Excellent. Jazal is here to be a 4/4 legendary first striker with 5 mana. Attacking creatures I control get plus X until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So 4/4 first strike legendary crap.
So I will say that it actually, if we had read reading the flavor text, explains the flavor
Oh,
text.
nice. Couldn't be me, literally.
As my Ka, he is the source of my inspiration. As my brother, he is the embodiment of my aspirations. Johnny loved his brother, and then his brother died, and it was very traumatic.
Right. So that's maybe that story is being told as well on the new Modern Horizons.
Yeah. Oh, how
right?
timely.
Okay, but this is the big beefy version of that 2/1 cat token.
Yeah.
Back to you, Kathleen.
I'm not sure that was actually the same cat, but it doesn't really matter.
Johnny gets mad whenever any cat dies.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to tap 4 and play Mangara, the diplomat.
God.
He's a 2/4 with lifelink, and he says whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, draw a card. So if you attack me with 2 creatures, I get to draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card.
Ah, nice. A 4-mana 2/4 that draws 9 cards a turn.
Then I'm going to play this Thriving Heath, and I'm going to say blue, and I'm going to say go ahead, Graham.
Okay. Untap and draw. I'm going to avoid as long as possible playing a forest because Chatterfang has Forest Walk. So I'm going to play a Mossfire Valley, and then I'm going to tap all 4 mana for an old friend of mine. It's Goreclaw, Terror of Kalsisma. Goreclaw is a 4/3 bear. Creature spells I cast with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast. And whenever Goreclaw attacks, each creature I control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn. And that is the extent of my turn.
All right. Gonna put out this Haunted Mire.
You're back. Cox shotgun. Myers haunted.
Always was.
Yeah.
No one has any forests yet, eh?
Oh, no, I do.
Technically.
Canopy Vista.
Yes.
Canopy Vista is a forest. It's a forest plains.
There you go. Your forest walking is online.
You could attack me.
I could attack you.
If you attack with 2 creatures, Kathleen even gets to draw a card.
You want me to put this goat in the fight?
I'm going to eat it with Mangara if you do.
Oh, only if 2 of them are attacking you. Okay.
But if you choose not to eat the goat, then you get to draw a card.
Well, no, it just does on attack.
Yeah. Both
Can
can
eat the
happen.
goat and draw a card.
But then I don't have a
If you-
goat.
Right.
Then Cori has no desire to attack you.
Oh, no.
You can attack me with the goat and I won't block.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's got 0 power.
It's about sending a message. Wait, I'm supposed to be Mrs. Bumbleflower. This is... It goes against it.
No, I get it. It's nap time, kids.
I am bringing out my commander. I will go to end step. Hazel is going to copy my goat token, and Chatterfang will make a squirrel off that. Then I will sack a goat to scry with Woestrider. And put that back on top. And say go.
Untap.
Say goat.
Goat has been
Goat
called.
step is a very important thing I just made up.
Like to cast Bident of Thassa.
Oh boy.
A legendary enchantment artifact for 4 mana that says whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player, I may draw a card, and I can pay 1 and a blue and tap it, and creatures my opponents control attack this turn if able. So I can goad all of one. Well, no, it's not goad. I can force to attack all of one person's.
You can goad my
creatures
goat?
each turn. Exactly. But it's not goading because you're allowed to attack me if I activate Bident of Thassa. Graham,
Yeah,
you are the one that gets attacked by Giselle this turn.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't wish to block a 4/4 first strike, so I will take 4.
I will draw a card.
Cool.
Back to you, Kathleen.
When one player at the table has a Sol Ring, it's like, whoa, boy, they're really out ahead. When one player at the table doesn't have a Sol Ring, it's me, I'm sad.
Look at you making mana the old way.
I haven't made my 3rd or 4th land drops, if it makes you feel better.
Yeah. I'm going to play the Sungrass Prairie, which is kind of cool because it now makes my Soul Ring tap for 3 mana, which is kind of fun. I'm going to basically tap everything to play Hoofprints of the Stag. Whenever you draw a card, you may put a hoofprint counter on Hoofprints of the Stag. And for 2 and a white, I can remove 4 hoofprint counters and make a 4/4 elemental token with flying. And the other spell I'm playing this turn is Forgotten Ancient. It's an 0/3. Whenever a player casts a spell, I may put a +1/+1 counter on Forgotten Ancient. You may, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may move any number of 1/1 counters from Forgotten Ancient onto other creatures.
Huh. Okay.
I'm done for the turn.
Mr. Baby Cakes.
All right. I will untap and draw. All right. I'm going to tap 3 mana for a cost reduced, thanks to Goreclaw, Pyre Swipe Hawk.
Ah.
It is a 4/4 elemental bird with flying and haste. Whenever it attacks, it gets plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among artifacts I control, which is currently none. And whenever I expend 6, gain control of up to 1 target artifact for as long as you control Pyre Swipe Hawk.
Okay.
Cool. So you're going to take a Soul Ring?
Finally. I could also take Biden of Thassa, but I can't do any of that this turn because I can't expend 6 because Pyre Swipe Hawk's cost was reduced, so I've only spent 3 mana. I get to spend 2 more on this Thought Vessel, so that's nice, at least.
We have 2 baby cake triggers.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I've cast 2 spells.
I like how you gave me a D20.
Yep.
Well, that thing's gonna get big.
Well, I'm going to be sharing the love.
I think Mangara triggers too.
He does, yeah. Also, I will remind you that I can put these counters on other creatures. It doesn't say other creatures I control.
Really?
I could be a very generous patron to all of you. This seems more like a warlock arrangement than like a Mrs. Bumbleflower. Is Mrs. Bumbleflower a warlock?
By subtype, citizen, but maybe that's a disguise.
Yeah, Citizen is the rogue's cowl of warlocks and,
Yeah.
you know, demon summoners and whatnot. They want everyone to think they're citizens.
Bruce Wayne is a citizen.
That's right.
The fact that she's green raises a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warlock vibes aside, I do get to put a counter on Hoofprints of the Stag as well because I drew a card.
Hoof, there it is.
Go ahead, Graham.
Thank you. I'm gonna
Wait,
move.
it's still your turn.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna move to combat, actually, if that's chill with you. I don't want to attack Kathleen with 2 creatures, because then you just get to draw a card. So I will attack Kathleen with 1 creatures, and I will also attack...
I got nothing.
Yeah, I will attack Nelson as well. So I will attack Nelson with Goreclaw for 5, because of Goreclaw's trigger, and Kathleen with the Pyre Swipe Hawk for 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I take 7. I go to 30.
I have confidence that you will be gaining that life back in fairly short order.
I hope so. I don't have anything in my hand that does that, but
Yeah, you're fine. Mangara has lifelink.
that's the Mangora could. Why? What am I supposed to do with a 7/7 flyer?
Oh, not by blocking my hawk. Just generally speaking. Yeah. That's my turn. Go ahead.
All right, untapping.
Excuse me.
That was my stomach.
All right.
Thought it was mine.
Yeah. We're all just like, that's the noise my stomach makes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tapping 2 to play Idol of Oblivion, which I can tap to draw a card if I have created a token, or pay 8 and tap to sacrifice it and create a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token.
What?
You know, just an Eldrazi. Normal Eldrazi.
In the deck that lets you copy tokens.
Normal Eldrazi.
The
thing.
regular Eldrazi. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Nothing fancy there
Thank goodness the token doesn't have Annihilator.
yet.
That's amazing. That's actually amazing restraint from the designers of that card to not give the token Annihilator.
And I am tapping my Soul Ring and a Forest to play Honored Dray Leader, which is a 1/1 Squirrel Warrior with Trample. When it enters the battlefield, put 1/1 counter on it for each other squirrel and or food I control. And when another squirrel or food I control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Honored Dray Leader. So 1, 2, 3. And now I will go to my end step, clone a goat, get another squirrel, get another counter on Honored Dray Leader, and draw a card.
Sweet.
Now I will sacrifice a goat to scry. I will bottom this card. And say go.
Update. I have put 2 more counters on my Bloomburrow and another thing on Hoofprints of the Stag, and I've drawn another card.
Sick.
Cool
ahead.
stuff you've got over there.
Yup.
Yeah.
I'll untap.
Why not counter for goat? You could put counter anywhere. Goat could have counters.
Not these ones, no.
Only at the beginning of my upkeep.
Oh, so
no.
on your turn you're dishing?
Maybe. We'll see.
Paying out.
I'm not certain that goat need counter. Yeah, Graham, I would pay 5 life again to draw a card, and everyone else has creatures, so I will attack you for 4.
Reasonable.
Yeah. Drawing with Bident. It's an island.
Ooh.
Look at Nelly making 3rd land drop. Papa would be so proud.
On turn 74 of this commander game.
Exactly. Let's cast Zinnia, Valley's Voice. 1/3 flying. Creature spells I cast have offspring. Then I'll cast Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive, a 1/3 legendary human rogue with creatures I control with power or toughness 1 or less. Can't be blocked. And I won't pay offspring because nah. Back to you, Kathleen. I cast 2 spells.
You cast 2 spells, so we'll do that. We're going to do that, and we're going to do this. Okay.
All yours.
Thank you.
Boy, Hoofprints is paying out so much more quickly than I thought.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, then I'm going to draw my card for the turn. I do have to, use it.
Yeah, you got to pay 3 mana to make your, 4/4 white elemental
Flying
avatar?
I can only do it during my turn.
Okay.
It's extremely fair. Do you know what's really annoying? I have not drawn any more land in all of this.
Really?
Yeah.
You drew like 5 cards that cycle.
Yeah,
That's wild, okay.
Join me.
I know. It's somewhat stressful.
I'm also stuck on 6. A thing that can only happen in Commander.
Also, I forgot, sort of, that I have an upkeep trigger on Forgotten Ancient. I drew my card, did all my other stuff first. But I'm going to move some counters around. I'm going to put 2 on Mangara so he's a better blocker and keep this at 4. You gave me a D20, Nelson, and I was like, this is very ambitious, but now I know it was correct, but it's also hard to use. I'm going to tap 6 mana because I'm going to do lots of things with my turn. And this is how much mana I have. First, I'm going to play my commander, Mrs. Bumbleflower. I'm a player. That's a counter on Forgotten Ancient. And then I'm going to play what I can, which is some Jolly Gerbils. That's another counter on my Forgotten Ancient. And Jolly Gerbil says, whenever you give a gift, draw a card.
Oh boy.
So, I love gifts. I love giving gifts. And Mrs. Bumbleflower says, whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. Nelson, draw a card.
Okay.
Because you are stuck on land.
I drew a card, and then
I put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains flying until end of turn.
maybe you don't need it.
Maybe, who should I put a +1/+1 counter on?
I mean, probably one of your own creatures.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on Mangara and make him a 5/7.
Flying until end of turn.
Flying until end of turn
With lifelink. See, you can gain your life back
I could get
very
my
easily.
life back.
There you go.
But then I just get punched again.
You also have Mr. Baby Cakes.
Yeah, you might get punched again regardless. Yeah, you have a 6/9.
That's true. Let's see. Cori,
Hello.
you have the most life.
And I have no way to block flying.
Correct. So that's a 5/7 lifelink.
So 5.
And I will gain 5. All right. I have Mr. Baby Cakes. And it's time to go, Graham.
Thank you. I will untap.
Mangara gets targeted by Miss Bumbleflower. Time for some diplomacy.
Where'd that nickname come from? For Forgotten Ancient.
The Commander community, I think I heard it on the Magic Show with Evan Irwin. That was the first time I ever heard that nickname, but I'm not sure that Evan is responsible for it. This card is like old as the hills and was an early, extremely popular Commander card.
I can see why.
It's like it wasn't like super expensive, but it was that card's sold out at the LGS.
Fair enough.
Oh, you know what? I'm getting a memory. I think this is one of the early you make the cards.
Oh, okay.
Hit me up in the comments. Someone watching this already knows and probably has already commented. This is the story of the Mr. Baby Cakes nickname, so thank you.
I'm going to play a forest. I'm finally open to Chatterfang nonsense. And I know. And I'm going to tap all my mana this turn for 2 different things. First, I'm going to cast Prosperous Bandit, paying for Offspring. It's a 2/2 with first strike, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many tapped treasure tokens.
Whoa.
Nice.
And he brings a little baby.
Aww.
This is an especially adorable raccoon sitting in a treasure chest, looking very concerned. So yeah, it's a 2/2 first strike and a 1/1 first strike. So the chances of them hitting, I guess, is getting slimmer and slimmer as this board develops, but who knows?
Maybe you can steal my Tetsuko.
That would be cool. Also, I will tap 3 for the commander, Bellow, Bard of the Brambles. During my turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental with indestructible and haste, and when this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Heh. Oh yeah, I've been casting spells. You probably want to do stuff.
I'm just gonna say that this is going up. This is now an 8, and I'm gonna draw another card.
Cool. Casting Bellow is also me expending my 6th and beyond mana for the turn, so I get to gain control of a artifact. And in this case, I think it does make sense to steal the Bident of Thassa.
There you go.
Because with Bellow in play, now this is a 4/4 with indestructible and haste and Ophidian stuff. So I'm gonna move to combat. I'm gonna attack everybody.
Hooray!
Yeah, I will attack Kathleen with Pyreswipe Hawk, Nelson with Goreclaw, and Cori with the Bident of Thassa. Because of Goreclaw, all of them get +1/+1 and trample, and the Pyreswipe Hawk gets an additional +4/+0 because of me controlling a big artifact.
Great.
So I'm taking 10.
4, 5, 9.
No, I'm taking 9. All right. I go to 26. Math.
And you're talking me with Goreclaw?
You with Goreclaw, which is a 5/4 with trample.
I'm going to block with Tetsuko, so I'll take 2.
Okay. And Cori, there's a 5/5 trample Bident of Thassa coming at you.
5/5 trample. So I'm blocking with the Dray Leader, and I'm going to regenerate it with Swarmyard.
Oh, Swarmyard has text. Regenerate. It's been a while since I've had to play
Like
around
a
Regenerate.
shield.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Shoot. All right.
So I will be taking 0.
You're taking nuns of damage, and I don't even get to draw a card. But Bident of Thassa has text, which is whenever a creature I control does combat damage to a player, I can draw a card. And Goreclaw and Pyreswipe Hawk both hit players, so I get to draw 2 cards.
Oof.
Cool. Commander. That is gonna be everything I can do this turn. Go ahead, Cori.
All right.
I love these shuffle cats.
Going to play this Baron Moor tapped. And tap this forest to play Gilded Goose, which is a 0/2 with flying, and when it enters, create a food token.
The Golden Honkle.
So here's my food.
Honkle is a god-tier nickname for goose.
The goose can also, I can pay 1 and a green to tap to create a food token, or tap and sacrifice a food to add a mana of any color. So I've added a food, so Honored Dray Leader goes up.
That squirrel means business.
Counter on Forgotten Ancient.
I'm going to combat, and I'm going to attack Graham for 3
Reasonable.
with my Forest Walk.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that. I will take 3.
All right, and I'm going to my end step. I will clone a squirrel token, which means I get 2 tokens off of Hazel the Root Bloom and 2 extra tokens off Chatterfang.
Wait, hold up, what? Wow.
And I missed that trigger for the food.
Oh yeah, so you have a...
You should have one more squirrel
should have
from
one
when
more
you made the
squirrel.
food with Gilded Goose. Thank you. Yes.
So now I'm going to 7 squirrels.
That sounds correct.
Moving to D12 squirrels.
I can't wait till Cori has to move back to multiple D6s.
Because some are attacking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder if this deck has like a pyroclasm or something.
Oh, that would be bad.
Something.
Something.
I'll draw a card off Idol of Oblivion and say go to Nelly.
Okay, and then when all those squirrels come in, Honored Dray Leader gets bigger?
Yes. Goes up by 5.
And 11/11 trample.
Groovy.
I've never seen a squirrel that big, thankfully.
My turn?
Yes.
Untap. Well, everybody's so well set up. I can't really attack into Cori, but you don't have any flyers yet, do you, Kathleen?
Nil.
Okay.
Well, 1.
All right, Graham, I'll attack you with Giselle Goldman, and Kathleen, I'll attack you with Zinnia.
Yeah, I'll take 1 from Zinnia. 1 commander
One
damage.
commander damage.
Giselle's ability costs all of your mana.
Yeah,
You probably are not going to do that, so I will not block.
I'm not going to do that.
Cool.
I will float a colorless and cast Chart a Course. Sorcery. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless I attack this turn.
I really appreciate that the reprints in this set have new art if the previous art, like Goreclaw, for example, didn't sort of make sense. I guess Goreclaw's art technically has a human on it, but most of the reprints, like Chart a Course or Swarmyard or stuff, have sort of in-universe reprints of art, new art for Bloomburrow, which I appreciate.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll cast, with my colorless floating and add a white, a Spirited Companion, and I'll pay Offspring. Thanks, Zinnia. So this is a 1/1 enchantment creature dog. When it enters, draw a card. And then my copy will be identical because 1/1 copy of a 1/1 is still a 1/1. So 2 dogs drawing 2 cards.
Cool.
I'll play a Rugged Prairie and go to cleanup.
Just putting in there that I drew a card and all of that stuff happened.
That's great. I did just cast 1 spell. No, I cast 2 spells.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Phew.
It was a while back there. Okay.
You've got so many spells in hand?
Yep, I just had to dig 5 deep before I hit a land this turn. Oof. Yep. You're all so fun and cute. Everyone likes you. I will discard Restoration Angel and Stolen by the Fae. Back to you, Kathleen.
All right. Upkeep. Can I have some more green dice, please?
Oh, you can just put them on any number of creatures.
Correct.
Wow.
Anywhere you
Wow. That's messed up.
All right, so I have 11 counters to throw around. So
What happened to all the counters on Forgotten Ancient?
they went to other better homes. So now Mrs. Bumbleflower is a 5/9. The Jolly Gerbils is a 6/7. And Mangara is big enough to eat your dragon.
Oh boy.
I thought you were just going to end it there with big enough to eat.
I'm going to draw a card. Oh, it's a land! I'm so excited. All right.
Mangara doesn't have a flying counter, does he?
No.
It was just that turn?
It was just that turn.
Cool.
I'm going to play Baird, Steward of Argive. The creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers that you control unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures.
Cool.
Each?
Each.
Each. You have a big trampler. It's fine.
That's 1.
Yeah.
I have
You have triggers.
I have triggers. I have cast a spell. I put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. It gains flying until end of turn.
And target opponent draws a card, right?
And yeah, target opponent draws a card. Nelson, draw a card.
Okay.
And who gets a +1/+1 counter on one of their creatures? Surely not you. You've hit me so many times. But you know what might be really good? I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on your Spirited Companion for you, Nelson.
Bigger dog.
Bigger dog.
With flying.
It's got flying until end of turn.
And baby cakes must get bigger as well.
Yeah, Baby Cakes also gets one of their counters back. So all things are going very well for me. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. I'm going to tap 2 here for an old friend. It's Lotus Cobra. That has a landfall trigger. Whenever a land I control enters, add 1 mana of any color. It's my first time seeing Lotus Cobra with the new truncated enters the battlefield wording, and that was odd.
Yeah. I thought I had missed a word.
Yeah.
It's like when Honor Drailer enters.
When it enters. And more of that as I play Mosswort Bridge, which has Hideaway 4. So when it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, put the rest in the bottom in a random order, taps for green. And for green and tap, you can play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have power 10 or greater, which I do, but that won't happen until this untaps. So look at the top 4, and we will hide something away for later, which that feels appropriate for raccoons.
Yeah. You're making a stash.
Oh, neat. Wow. Oh, that's very pretty. I'm just going to tell you, there's some very cool new art on Cultivate that's going to the bottom of my library.
Awesome.
We'll never see it.
Nope. And I have a green mana floating from the Lotus Cobra trigger. So now I'm going to do something medium hateful, but only I think, to Kathleen and Cori. I'm going to cast Decimate. Destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, and land. So my targets are as follows.
Let those targets on stack.
I'm going to put my targets on the stack, and if you have a counterspell, you have a counterspell.
Okay.
I'm targeting, for the artifact, Idol of Oblivion. For the creature, Forgotten Ancient. For the enchantment, Hoofprints. And for the land, Swarmyard.
That's a cool decimate. So you have a Mangara trigger too
Yeah.
before that resolves.
Decimate floats eerily atop the stack.
Decimate floats eerily atop the stack until it runs into a long river's pull. I'm going to gift a card. Nelson, you get to draw a card.
Wait, what?
Wait, you make
An opponent?
An
You don't
opponent.
even need to promise the gift to the person you're countering?
No. I can do this because we're married and I know that you'll forgive me, because this is truly hateful. But I think that you kind of like at least know what kind of person I am at this point in our relationship.
I love you're just trying to flood Nelson's hand at this point.
Well, yeah, I'm just discarding cards at end step, right? So if you're giving away cards to your opponent, you might as well give them to the one who can't play them all.
Yeah, fair, all right. So that
does
just
that how it
counters
works?
the spell?
Yeah, I'm going to counter that spell. Nelson gets a card. When I gave a gift, I draw a card.
Safe.
All right, so then you have a trigger, you have two different triggers from drawing cards.
This is Bumbleflower, so let's just say I've cast a spell, so I've got to put a counter on Forgotten Ancient. Ms. Bumbleflower also says that if I cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. Nelson, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Mangara. Mangara will gain flying until end of turn.
Yeah.
And I am done casting things on your turn.
So I'm going to move to combat. Now, it is no longer to my benefit to attack Kathleen with Pyreswipe Hawk, partially also because Baird costs me money.
I have no flying blockers and just a couple of little dudes.
Yeah.
I have one flyer.
The goose.
She'd never block with the
I
Hulk.
definitely block with the goose.
All right, so I'm going to attack Cori with Pyreswipe Hawk and Nelson with Goreclaw and Bident. So Pyreswipe Hawk is 4, 5, 9 power, flying and trample. And these two are both 5. Well, there's a 5/5 and a 5/4.
I will block Biden to Thassa with the 2/2 Spirited Companion.
Okay.
How big is that hawk?
It also has trample because
Yeah.
of, okay,
Oh, really? Okay.
because of Goreclaw.
Yeah. That's fine. That's still what I want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
How big is the hawk?
The hawk is a 9/5. It's working 9 to 5.
I can still activate this ability, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So I will tap a swamp and sacrifice 5 squirrels to give your Pyrehawk +5/-5
Oh.
until end of turn.
Do you want to do that before blockers?
Annoying.
Yes, I would like to do that before blockers.
That sucks. Chatterfang, huh? I should have thought of that. Okay. Yeah, so the Pyreswipe Hawk dies, and I miss a trigger on expending earlier, and I could have stolen someone's Sol Ring, I guess, but it doesn't untap the artifact, so I wouldn't have gotten to use it, and then they're just going to get it back now, and also Nelson gets back his Bident, which is no longer a creature and no longer hitting him. So now only Goreclaw is attacking Nelson.
I will block with Spirited Companion, so I take less damage.
Okay, you take 3.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, pass it over to Cori then.
On your end step, I'm going to sack this goat to scry with Woe Strider. So now I'll go to my turn. Untap. You don't have a forest, do you, Nelson?
I don't have a forest. I have a Spirited Companion copy token.
It's a 1/1?
Yeah. It's a 1/1.
All right, so I'm going to combat.
Great.
I will attack Graham with Chatterfang and Nelson with the Honored Dray Leader.
Yeah.
So that's an 11/11 trample.
Looks like an 11/11
And a
trample.
3/3 to Graham.
I cannot block.
But it's
It
a
has-
squirrel, so you could sacrifice it to Chatterfang to pump Chatterfang's own power, right?
But it's X squirrels.
I know, but that's a 4th damage you could deal to Graham this combat step, and all you have to do is deal 11 less damage to me. That's such a great deal.
I could deal more damage to you.
You could, yeah.
Wow.
I cannot block because Chatterfang has Forest Walk.
I will not block because Honored Dray Leader has trample.
That didn't rhyme.
I will not block.
Because I'm
Sorry.
on the clock?
Yeah, because I'm on the clock. There we go.
Yeah.
This needs to be PG-13, right?
I take 3.
Great. I took 11.
So I'm tapping Soul Ring and a Forest and Barren Moor to play Binding of the Old Gods. Or Binding the Old Gods. It's a saga, and step 1 is destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls hoof.
Hoof prints?
Okay.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
This
the
one?
one that
The
could-
one that is
might
huge.
eventually make 4/4s.
Oh, it's repeatable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you can
super
just keep
repeatable.
taking
Oh,
counters off to
Gigas.
make 4/4.
cool. All right, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of flyers in my
Sure.
Hoof.
pool.
Not the card we usually nickname Hoof in Commander, but Hoof nonetheless. It's
No.
even an elemental.
I'm going to also tap these and my goose to make another food token.
Okay. And another squirrel.
I get another squirrel, which means this is bigger, but it's also bigger for the food, so it's all the way up to
right.
12.
Right.
And then going to my end step, 4 more squirrels.
Yikes.
Huh.
Great.
And I'll draw a card. Okay. So go.
You know, to paraphrase something my dad said to me once while investigating the attic of our old house, these squirrels are out of control.
Very good.
I think you should just leave the squirrels in peace to do their own thing.
I wish I could.
These squirrels have never known peace,
Only 2 of them know war.
I guess. The others are just fodder for Chatterfang.
Okay. I'll play a mountain and cast Dusk. Sorcery. Destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Leaves more room for the little ones to fight in, you know.
Interesting. Okay.
Reverse pyroclasm.
I'll put Bellow back in the command zone, and Goreclaw dies.
I have to make a choice.
Very good, yeah. You
With
can
power 3 or greater?
power 3 or greater. So
Hey, Baird, you live.
there you go. Various people still have creatures.
I'm going to regenerate one of my squirrels.
Okay.
I choose Dray Leader.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, so you still have these squirrels. This thing dies.
Oh, yes.
But you still have Gilded Goose, a regenerated Dray Leader, and 8 other creatures.
What is Dawn, by the way?
Dawn, from my graveyard, I can Aftermath for 5 mana, return all creature cards with power 2 or less from my graveyard to my hand. So it's like a big card drawing spell. Although right now I think we're only hitting Tetsuko. Oh, Tetsuko and Spirited Companion.
Okay.
For 5 mana, I could draw those 2.
You can get another dog.
Exactly. All right, Zinnia, let's attack Cori and find out what's under Biden of Thassin. So Zinnia has 2 power and is a flying creature.
Ah, I cannot block.
All right, 2 commander damage for Cori, please, James. And I will draw a card with Biden. Okay, I have 4 mana left and 9 other cards, or 10 cards in hand right now. Thanks, Ms. Bumbleflower. I have various difficult decisions to make. Okay, I think I'm just not going to be the greediest person of all time. And instead of paying for Offspring, I'll just try to cast more spells this turn. It's Pollywog Prodigy, a 1/3 frog wizard with Evolve, which means it gets bigger whenever I get a creature that has more power or toughness than this creature. And whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell with mana value less than Pollywog Prodigy's power, draw a card. Then I will send my dog on a path to exile to go find me a basic land. Does
Interesting.
that work?
Yeah.
Great.
Sometimes you just need to exile a dog.
Yes.
It had rabies.
I feel like it's gone to a better place.
Yeah.
You
It's
ever-
gone to a, what basic land did you find?
I went this plain.
Yeah, a plains upstate.
That's right. It's gone to a beautiful plains upstate where it frolics in the meadows.
Much better than going to a swamp upstate.
That's right.
That's like a pet cemetery kind of situation.
We have that, yeah.
Yeah. That thing's tapped, eh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Does someone else want to get to kill the Honored Dray Leader? Because otherwise I'm going to kill the Honored Dray Leader.
You can kill an honor
I'm
drake.
going to hit the Honored Dray Leader with a Rapid Hybridization. This destroys it, and you get a 3/3 Frog Lizard.
Token.
Yeah. Let's see if I have that for you. Here you go. It's a frog and a lizard. Great. This is a great reprint for Bloomburrow. The Simic would love it here, right? Look at that. I got down to 7 cards in hand. Your go, Kathleen.
I'm proud of you,
I just had to cast all my instants in my main phase. That's all it took.
That was a good turn for the runtime of this episode.
Thanks.
It was going to be brisk.
Yeah, this appears to be the deck that's trying to keep the other decks in check.
I'm going to play an Evolving Wilds. And then I'm going to... I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wish I had more mana.
That's why I pathed my own creature.
I'm going to play a Bloodroot Apothecary. It says, when it enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each create a treasure token. Nelson, make a treasure token.
Okay. I'm trying.
Nelson has the least land. So to me, it seems the nicest. Can you get me a treasure token as well?
It would be my pleasure.
Bloodroot Apothecary also has Toxic too. So whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-creature token, that player gets 2 poison counters.
Wow.
So that treasure token.
That treasure token.
Don't do it, Nelly.
Look,
That's wild.
greatness at any
But
cost.
if
right?
anybody else has stuff that they need to sacrifice, then, you know, that's also a problem for you.
Right, the foods are also
Foods
toxic.
all are now toxic, while Bloodroot Apothecary is on the table, obviously. And then I get to sack my Evolving Wilds to go looking for a basic land, and I'm going to say go ahead, Graham.
Okay. At the end of your turn, in the interest of not facing an Eldrazi, I'm going to abrade the Idol of Oblivion.
Aww.
And then I will untap. Well, I can't cast my Hideaway card anymore because my total power... Yeah. My total power is now significantly less than 10. It is, in fact, half of that. So, let's draw some cards. I'm going to Harmonize to draw 3 cards.
That seems good. It's a rebuilding turn.
Yeah.
Are the frogs singing?
Yes.
Wow.
Bud Wise. That's exactly the first thing I thought of, too.
Sure.
Yep.
Is it 3 frogs?
It is,
Yeah.
New harmonized light. Half the calories, same great taste.
Well, the 2 poison counters probably are not going to be relevant to you.
Well, the first 2 are never relevant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing Phyrexia, all will be 1 limited. Getting the first poison counter on in that format was a real thing. Some decks should just proliferate it the whole way.
I still don't really have any attacks, which is hilarious.
Well,
I have
yeah.
to
Do you
turn
want to
after
pay to
round.
attack me?
Well,
Oh,
no, and
right.
even then, you've got a 3/3 and a 2/4.
Yeah.
Like, I still don't have creatures that get through that. You got a 1/3.
I just have a 1/3, yeah, but I mean, the 1/3 is doing pretty good work against you this turn.
Yeah,
I
I've
did
got
just play a Wrath of God effect last
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
I've got a 2/2 first strike, so it's like,
it's time to rebuild.
yeah. Okay, well, in that case, I will play a Gruul Turf, returning Forest to my hand. It enters tapped, but I get a land or a mana from Lotus Cobra. So I will use that and 2 other mana to play an instant in my main phase, specifically Fungus Frolic, the adventure of Bright Cap Badger, who just looks like they're having a tremendous day foraging for mushrooms. I make 2 Saprolings. If the Badger's in play, each fungus and Saproling I control taps for mana, and at the beginning of your end step, I make another Saproling. But right now, he's off on an adventure finding Saprolings, and I have these 2 Saprolings.
They're frolicking.
They're frolicking. Look at them.
I guess a sapperling noise would be wetter.
I think so.
Yeah, definitely make those sounds into your microphone.
I don't think of Saprolings as being particularly loud. Like, it's like algae and moss, right?
Yeah.
It's like a bag of salad hitting the pavement.
They're the little tappies of their little legs hitting the ground.
Sure, I guess Saprolings dying plus gravity equals sound.
If a Saproling falls to the pavement and no one's around to hear it. All right, well, that's my turn. Go ahead,
All
Cori.
right, untap. We got the Saga. I'm going to look for a forest. Whoop. I found one.
Hooray.
And it just
Congrats.
tapped. And now I get to shuffle. It was worth it.
Yeah, it's Binding the Old Gods, powerful spell. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of play in Standard.
Yeah. I remember when black-green was really good in Standard. But black's, like, usually good in Standard.
Often there's some some
Usually
deck that can
it's-
play black.
It's usually black and red are the most common performers, I feel. If you have opinions about sort of the overall meta arc of Standard, let me know.
Write a letter
Yeah.
to
456. Ottawa.
just numbers in a place.
Yeah, postal code HOH.
Yeah. Santa will definitely read your mail.
I hope someone sends a letter to our PO box talking about it.
I feel like
The meta arc of Standard and
I
its
feel
colors
like
are best. Yeah.
if you had to win over it would be red and black are slightly overrepresented, but people complain more about white and blue.
All right.
Oh, hot takes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tired of getting hit in the air, so I'm playing Moonstone Eulogist, which is a 4/4 flyer. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, I get a blood token.
Whoa.
And whenever I sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Moonstone Eulogist and gain a life.
Oh.
Okay.
Neat.
Moonstone Eulogist, Bloodroot Apothecary, square off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do it 5 times.
So go.
Okay, untapping. I wish to cast Murmuration,
Oh boy.
a 5-mana enchantment that says birds I control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. At the beginning of my end step, for each spell I've cast this turn, create a 1/2 blue bird creature token with flying, named Stormcrow.
Ah!
Cool, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, 5 mana enchantment, and at the beginning of my end step, free Stormcrow with Storm spell. What's that card called from
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is this a
Crowstorm.
Crowstorm?
Yeah.
yeah.
This is an Infinity, or this is a
Yeah.
this is an uncard in real Magic now.
That's right. Yeah, in Commander. Yeah. So I have +1/+1 Vigilance for 5 mana, and at the beginning of my end step, I get to cast Crowstorm.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And it also boosts your Stormcrows.
Yes. Yeah. It's +1/+1 Vigilance for
It
all
is
my
a
birds.
non-bow with Zinnia.
No, because
No.
it says base power.
Oh, base power.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's fantastic with Zinnia.
Very good,
actually.
Zinnia.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it gives Zinnia +1/+1 Vigilance.
That's good.
Who doesn't have flyers?
Me.
Yeah, but you have bears.
I don't have flyers.
Graham.
Yeah.
Take 2.
I
No,
take-
3.
Take 3.
Sorry, it's 3 because of this one. Okay.
I take 3 commander damage.
1, 2, 3. I will draw a card with Biden. Then I'll play a land. It's Castle Ardenvale. I have a plane, so it enters untapped.
Cool.
And then, okay, I'm going to pay 2 for Offspring. I'm going to sacrifice a treasure, so Bloodroot's going to trigger.
Have 2
And-
poison counters.
Thank you. And I'll cast Rose Room Treasurer with Offspring. So this is a 4/3 Ogre Warrior with Alliance. Whenever another creature I control enters, create a treasure token if this is the first or second time this ability has resolved this turn. Otherwise, I may pay X when I do Rose Room Treasurer. It deals X to any target.
Wow.
Yeah, I can hit other creatures. So
Do they see each other entering?
yeah, so the way Offspring works is if you paid the Offspring as you cast it, when that creature enters, I make a token. So it has this Alliance ability and it has Offspring trigger. So
Right.
it wants to make a copy now, and then this one will see the copy. But this goes on the stack, so if anyone wants to kill Rose Room Treasurer in response,
I would love to, but I can't.
that's fine. So then when the copy enters, I will get a treasure.
Okay.
Then I want to go to my end step and make 2 Stormcrows.
I have a question about, I guess this is a layers question about
Right.
how the +1/+1 from Murmuration applies to the Stormcrows.
Great.
Actually, it probably isn't even relevant because you have an evolve trigger from the ogre you just played.
Right, thank you for catching that. Yeah, and Polywog Prodigy does want to get bigger off Rose Room Treasurer and then won't. But in answer to your question, they enter as 2/3. So I was
so
thinking I was going to catch it at end of turn.
So it would have evolved if it wasn't already bigger.
yes.
Cool.
All right, that's my turn. Back to you, Kathleen.
At the end of your turn, pay slightly over. To cast Peerless Recycling, I'm going to gift a card. Graham, cards in hand?
4.
Cards in hand?
And one of them's a forest.
6.
6?
5.
5? You can draw a card.
Yay.
Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If the gift was promised, instead return 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand.
Ooh.
So I'm
Grabbing.
going to take Forgotten Ancient, and I'm going to take probably my Hoof Prints of the Stag again,
All right.
because I like making tokens. Thought about taking Evolving Wilds just to get more land, but that's not very powerful.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have triggers from these storm crows entering at end of turn on my Rose Room Treasurer.
Oh, yeah, right.
So one of them sees the first storm crow and says, hey, this is the second ability, so get a treasure. The other one sees both of them entering and says, this is the first two, so get a treasure. And then the first one sees the second storm crow entering and says, you can pay X to deal X damage to any target, but the only way I could do that would cost me a bunch of poison, so I don't want to.
Phew.
Okay.
Say, Bloodroot Apothecary is a gift to all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, That Rose Room Treasurer is terrifying.
I mean, it's a 4-mana 4/3
Well,
that can make some treasure every turn.
Yeah. That's what Kathleen said.
Yeah. You know, every now and then maybe it'll fireball you.
Yeah. That's scary to me.
Maybe.
I'm going to sack this treasure. And I'm going to cast an Octomancer. Gift an octopus. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast a spell. If you do, when it enters, they create an 8/8 blue octopus creature token. At the beginning of each end step, create a token that's a copy of target creature token that entered the battlefield this turn.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
Each end step?
each end step.
Nice. And it doesn't have to be that entered the battlefield under your control.
No.
Okay.
Do we have any 8/8 octopus tokens?
We do.
Yeah.
Because they've only given me one.
Why?
Graham,
Yeah.
I feel that you want to get your hideaway land, right?
do.
So you can have an octopus.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to my end step, and I'm going to create a token that's a copy of target creature token that entered the battlefield this turn. So I'm going to get an octopus.
Wild. Okay.
Octomancer. I gifted an octopus. I'm going to discard this Gearper Orrery because I've never had additional lands to play. So
All right. I don't even know what that does.
each player may play an additional land on each of their turns.
Oh, yeah, that's not been a concern this game.
No.
All right. At the end of your turn, then, now that I have more than 10 power, I'm going to activate Mosswort Bridge to play Grumgully, the Generous.
Oh, see?
Generosity begets generosity. Now each other non-human creature that I control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. And then I will draw for the turn. I'm going to play a forest for the turn. Lotus Cobra trigger. So I make a green mana. And I'm going to tap 6 total mana, including that green, for Warstorm Surge with new adorable art on it. It's an enchantment that says whenever a creature I control enters, it deals damage equal to its power to any target.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that card.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And then I'm going to tap 4 to bring my Brightcap Badger back from their adventure. Now, if I recall correctly, I can Grumgully and then Warstorm Surge?
Not sure if you have a choice. Let's read Grumgully one more time.
No, it just enters with a counter on it. You're
Enters
right.
with, yeah.
So Brightcap Badger just enters as a 4/5. So that's neat. Brightcap Badger gets to do 4 damage to any target.
Any target.
There are so many possible targets.
Oh, the targets you'll target.
I think that Bloodroot Apothecary is much worse for my opponents presently than it is for me.
You could kill a frog wizard. You could kill a squirrel druid.
I could kill...
You could kill a bat warlock or maybe storm crow.
You can target one of your own creatures.
Good. So many targets.
You could get Cori's bat.
You could
I
target a
could.
face. You could target a Jace.
I am going to target the thing that makes you lots of treasure and potentially fireballs.
Okay.
The bigger one.
bigger one?
I know that you have a second one.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Rose Room Treasurer down.
Cool.
I get a blood token.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yes, that is the thing that
We have
happens.
not missed any of those triggers. There just hasn't been a creature dying since you played that.
Yep.
I gave you an 8/8.
I know, and I'm like, I could attack with it. But also, Kathleen has her own 8/8, and maybe I need my 8/8.
Well, you have to pay to attack me anyhow.
Right, yeah. I just,
right.
Yeah, Baird's on the list of potential targets. Don't worry. Okay, well then I think I just go to my end step. And this is fun. I make a Saproling because of Brightcap Badger. But it enters as a 2/2. And so I will deal 2 damage.
You want to kill the other Rose Room Treasurer?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, what else is 2? There's a goose.
It's a
Yeah,
goose.
goose is an option.
There's so many
Everything,
squirrels.
all my other stuff has 3 or 4 toughness.
Yeah.
Can I have a token copy of your sapperling?
Oh
What? Oh, yeah, right.
step?
Because you get to make a sapperling.
Well, I make a copy of
permitted.
your sapling. It's technically a copy.
Yeah, but it's, yeah.
We'll just say it doesn't get the +1/+1 counter, so I'm just going to take a sapperling because that's much more straightforward.
Yes to this, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blood token.
Blood. Yeah. Go ahead, Cori.
All right. On your end step, I'm making a food.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could have gotten the goose, but I don't really mind if Cori has a lot of food as long as the apothecary's around.
Binding the Old God, level 3. Creatures I control gain Death Touch until end of turn. I Maelstrom Pulse your apothecary.
No.
And any other creatures named apothecary out here.
What does Maelstrom Pulse do again one more time?
Destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent.
Yo. Sorry.
Blood token.
New art on Maelstrom Pulse. Looking colorful. What's Nicol Bolas doing back there?
Uh-oh.
Is this new art, or is this just art I've never seen before? It's really pretty.
I don't know. It's definitely not the original art from Alara.
Yeah. And that's definitely Nicol Bolas way in the back there. Huh.
There have been many printings of Magic the Gathering.
I like that we've finally achieved literally Richard Garfield's original vision for the game, which is that no one knows every card.
Yeah, it's fantastic, honestly. Congrats, Watsy.
Yeah, you did it.
Even the people who make it their life's work to understand the game are like, ooh, what's that?
All right, I'm going to combat with these squirrels. 4 of them are going for Graham.
So this is 4 1/1 Death Touch squirrels.
Yes.
Oh! These little shuffle cats have first strike.
Oh, what?
You can take this back. My 2 prosperous bandits have first strike, a 2/2 and a 1/1.
I guess Nelly then. Swinging at Nelly with 4 1/1 Death Touchers on the ground. They're just little guys.
Just look at this. They're angry, but they're just little guys.
I'll block with a Polywog Prodigy and a Stormcrow.
Okay.
So 2 of your creatures die, and I take 2.
Chitter Spitter.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of my upkeep, I may sacrifice a token. If I do, put an acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. Squirrels get +1/+1 for each acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. And green tap to create a squirrel creature token.
Tag.
Nice.
Okay.
That is my turn.
Untapping. Who has reach? Bat Warlock?
Nothing.
Nothing, nothing?
Nothing.
Pay for it.
Pay for Baird?
Also Goose.
Sure. All right, I will. I'm going to pay. I love payment. Tap a mountain. Get in with Zinnia at Kathleen, and I will attack Graham with a Storm Crow. So this is 2 damage coming at Graham,
I cannot block that.
and 1, 2, 3 damage of Commander coming at Kathleen.
Can't block that. You get to see what's under the bident.
Yeah, twice.
It's been a high card drawing game.
It is.
Very, very many cards. Mm-hmm. The many cards of Magic the Gathering. And the Bloodroot Apothecary is gone, so these treasures are safe, which is exciting. Let's play a Thriving Bluff, naming...
A thruff.
Thruff, if you will. Naming white, so Boros mana, and then pay 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9
Oh my gosh.
for Martial Coup, X = 7. It's another sweeper. It's create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. You didn't need your other creatures, right?
All
My other creatures.
other creatures.
All of them.
All destroy.
It destroys. Yeah, it's the destroy keyword.
I can't regenerate my bat though.
Swarmer doesn't target the bat?
No.
Keep one of your squirrels alive or something?
I can keep one of my squirrels alive.
Up to you, yeah. And I make, what did I say, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
He tapped 9 mana, yeah.
Yes, I will make 7 of these little soldier friends.
My bat would have been so big.
And then I just cast 1 spell, so I'll get 1 Stormcrow back at end of turn. Go ahead, Kathleen.
At the end of your turn, I'm going to generous gift that Warstorm Surge.
Oh,
You get a creature token. You get a 3/3 elephant.
Thank the mother.
Gib elephant, please.
Give elephant, please.
Newt. Thank you.
Served cold? Nonsense. Everyone knows revenge is best served with an elephant of nervous disposition. Everyone knows that. Hate that for all of us besties. Drawing my card for turn.
Yep.
God, it's still not a land. Ugh. It's time for a perplexing test to return all creature tokens to their owner's hands.
Okay.
You just gave me this elephant.
Good night, sweet
I just don't
soldier
want...
tokens. Nelson's deck isn't
Yeah.
the only one with sweepers.
Hoofprints of the Stag. Go ahead.
All right.
No tokens.
Just creature tokens, right?
Just feel like that, yeah. I feel like that murmuration is a real problem, but...
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it again.
I
next
have
turn.
paid 5 mana for 3 Stormcrows so far.
I'm gonna just explore real quick.
Okay.
I can play an additional land this turn, and I get to draw a card. I'm gonna call this a rebuilding turn again. I'm gonna cast Big Score, discarding Garruk's Uprising, because I certainly do not control a creature with power 4 or greater, and I don't think I will for a while. So I draw 2 cards and make 2 treasure tokens. The treasure tokens, by the way, are adorable.
The little raccoon family.
Little raccoon family.
Babies. I love everything about this set. Everything's so good.
I'm gonna play a Carplucin Forest. Taps for colorless or red-green, but hurts me to do so. And then I will tap this for 5 mana, because there's a Gruul Turf in there, and one of these treasures for Kodama of the East Tree.
Ooh.
It's a 6/6 with reach. Whenever another permanent I control enters, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, then I can put a permanent with equal or less in mana value from my hand onto the battlefield. But mostly it's a 6/6 with reach, which I guess would have been cool with Garruk's Uprising, but go.
All right, untap.
Flyers are off the menu, boys.
I'm going to sacrifice a food to Chitter Spitter to give it an acorn token. So now it has 1 acorn.
All right.
Paying the extra commander tax of 2 to bring back Hazel of Root Bloom. Go to end step. I can create a copy of this food. And I get a squirrel. No? No, I don't. I don't get a squirrel off that.
Okay.
But I got another food.
Untapping. After all, why shouldn't I? I will cast my commander. And then Devilish Valet with Offspring. So I will make 2 Devil Warriors. One is a 1/1 and one is a 1/3. And they both have, whenever another creature I control enters, double Devilish Valet's power until end of turn. So the Papa, sees the baby come in, because that's how Offspring works. So Papa already is at 2 power. Then I will cast more stuff after I play this Ferris Lake.
Uh-oh.
Make a red and a blue, and then I'll make 2 white and a colorless for Skyclave Apparition with Offspring. I'll target Chitter Spitter and Hoofprints of the Stag. So they both just get exiled.
In response, I'm
yes.
creating a squirrel token off of Chitter Spitter.
Perfect. Okay. When Skyclave Apparition leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. So when these leave, you will get creatures, but not these things back.
But I want that thing back.
I know, but that's not how this card works.
I wanted to load squirrels into the gun.
Right? Devilish Valet sees 2 more creatures enter, so it goes from 2 to 4, and then 4 to 8. Copy token sees 2 more, so it goes from 1 to 2, and then 2 to 4. So 8/3 and 4/1.
Haste and trample.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Who wants to get hurt? And 1/1 squirrel token.
And a 3/5.
Sure. How many cards do you have in account? Lots. Yeah.
I've got 5 cards in hand.
Are you scarier than Graham? He's got a Kodama of the last tree, or the East tree.
I'm not particularly scary right now.
Sure. All right. Well, you gave me a lot of cards, so I'll attack Cori with Devilish Valet that has 3 toughness and 8 power. Was it?
Yes.
And Kathleen, I'll attack you with Copy Token that only has 4 power.
I'll take 4.
I will block with Hazel and regenerate it. So I'll take 3.
Okay. And then I'll draw 2 cards.
That worked out well for Nelson.
Yeah, that was a cool turn.
Thank you. I've played a land. I have 7 cards in my hand. I want to pass to Murmuration Step.
Oh, right.
I cast 3 spells, so I'll get 3 Storm Crows.
Oh, Nelson's deck is popping off.
Back to you, Kathleen.
All right, let's draw land. I'd love some land. It's a land. Heck yeah, that gives me more options, which is always fun.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, Miss Bumbleflower.
She's back.
Hello, Miss Bumbleflower. We have not all been good children.
It looks like she's brought tea and cakes.
She did. It's time to cast a Rites of Flourishing. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card, and they may play an additional land on each of their turns. Isn't that nice for everyone?
I love that for me.
Wow.
Yeah, so everybody have some fun with that. I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on Mrs. Bumbleflower, so she's a 2/6 with Vigilance. Graham, you draw a card.
Okay.
Go ahead. Now remember, removing me from the game removes the Rites of Flourishing.
It's true.
He's holding those rights hostage. So I draw 2 cards?
You draw 2 cards.
Okay. Big fan. I'm going to tap 4 mana to play Essica's Chariot.
Meow.
A couple different things happen. I make these 2 adorable cats, and Kodama triggers and says whenever a permanent enters, if it wasn't put there by this ability, then I can put on a permanent with equal or lesser mana value from my hand. So I'm going to also put into play this Burnished Heart with new adorable art. It's a little robot deer.
Baby.
And I guess you also have 2 triggers off the cats as well?
There is a big one lurking in the shadows if you hit the baby.
It's true. Oh yeah, the cats also trigger. You can put a permanent with equal. Oh, so I could just put a land into play. I haven't played a land for the turn, but you could just do that, right?
You can play
I think
2.
so. Yeah.
Equal or lesser. Wild.
If you had like 3 lands in your hand, you could put them all into play.
I don't, but I'll put this mountain into play.
Okay.
So technically, I haven't played a land this turn. Now I will tap 5 to bring back Bellow, Bard of the Brambles.
Bellow.
Bellow, everyone. Bellow enters, so I will play this free Sakura Tribe Elder, thanks to Kodama's trigger. Bellow says, Bellow has a lot of text. My Essica's Chariot is a 4/4 indestructible haste.
Copy that.
Yeah. So I will move to attacks. I will attack Nelson with Essica's Chariot. I have an attack trigger, and I make another cat. Then I have a Kodama trigger, and I don't have anything to do with it. Shockingly, they only give you 2 cats, so we'll...
Oh, I have a cat.
I might have cats for
You
you.
have another one of these cats?
I have literally another one of these cats.
I got some cats too if you need them.
Wild. Okay.
Meow meow.
3rd cat. Neat.
That's too many cats.
Indestructible, hey?
Yep.
Only on your turn, right?
Yeah, only on my turn, which is why I'm attacking with it now. So,
I like that you don't have to crew it.
yeah. Bello just says, no, you're a... Bello starts up the chariot, sends it rolling, and jumps out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll block with the Skyclave Apparition copy. So, Cori, you'll get a 3/3 blue illusion creature token.
I love it.
Enjoy.
I will play my land for the turn. It's a Path of Ancestry tapped. Go ahead.
Casualty of War. Casualties. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to pick all of these.
Oh no.
Choose one or more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment, destroy target land, destroy target planeswalker.
You
I
can't.
won't choose all those targets.
Okay.
Creature. Kodama.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Enchantment. Murmuration.
Yeah.
Artifact. Bident. Land. I want one of your dual lands.
Which one?
Do you have any untapped?
No.
No. So the tapped island plains there.
This one?
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Reasonable. And I have this Terramorphic Expanse that I will crack at some later date for probably a forest. And go to end step, target the squirrel, get a copy. So I'm at 3 total squirrel tokens.
Oh, I see.
Okay, I'll untap.
All right, I'm cracking the Terramorphic Expanse.
Perfect.
Did you draw twice?
No. Did you
Oh,
draw
I
twice?
didn't draw twice.
Draw another
Okay,
card.
okay.
Rites of Flourishing.
Sure.
Doesn't change my turn.
Okay. I'm drawing a second card for Rites of Flourishing. I don't have a Biden anymore.
It's been too long.
Biden's over. Friendship with Biden ended. Okay, 7 mana. Cast Boss's Chauffeur with Offspring. So this is a 5 mana 0/0 elf citizen.
What?
From Capenna. Yeah. This might be a reprint. I don't know. It's definitely from Capenna.
It has to be a reprint.
Okay, with Boss's Chauffeur, enters with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to 1 plus the number of other creatures you control. And Alliance, whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Boss's Chauffeur. When Boss's Chauffeur dies, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token for each +1/+1 counter on it.
Oh, they just explode into tinier men.
So the Offspring is actually larger. Yeah, the copy token is a 1/1. Well, first of all, it enters with. So it'll enter the battlefield as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then Offspring will happen. It'll enter as really a 9/9, but it'll have 8 +1/+1 counters on it. And then this will also see that creature entering and want to get a +1/+1 counter. The Devilish Valet will become a 4/1 after 2 creatures entering. So that's cool and good. I'll play a Sun-Scorched Divide and make 2 white mana and 4 other for Luminous Brood Moth.
Oh,
with
no.
Offspring. Yeah.
Who left that in there? Who left the windows open again?
So it's a 3/4 insect from Ikoria with flying, and whenever a creature you control without flying dies, returns to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. And I'll bring a baby Broodmoth as well. So that's 2 more counters on each of these, and then this will have 8 power.
Imagine the noise that thing would make smacking against the window trying to...
Well, won't it have 16
Like a
power?
football.
Because you've had 4 creatures enter?
That's probably right. Okay.
Wait.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16.
Thanks, yes. I needed to double twice, not once. I'm going to play a second land for turn because Rites of Flourishing is in play.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. Are we attacking people?
You should attack.
Great.
Don't attack me, though, because of the Rites of Flourishing. It's kind of fun.
Sure.
You've got some wiggle room. You're at 18.
Yeah, I'll attack Graham for 16, and I'll attack Cori for whatever this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 flying.
I take 7 commander damage.
7 commander damage to Cori.
And that's a 16/1
Trample, yeah.
trample.
That's rude.
Trample. I'm at 17, huh?
I didn't attack you.
No, thank you. Who would attack Mrs. Bumbleflower?
I'm going to Chaos Warp the token
That's
copy.
great.
Okay, great.
So you shuffle that into your library, so you shuffle,
Yeah.
and then reveal the top card, and if it's a permanent, then Merry Christmas.
What happens if it's not a permanent? It just
Then
chills there?
it just stays on top of the library. I could block it with one thing and I still take a huge amount of damage, or I could block it with a lot of things and I don't have a board, so I just kind of gotta... I would love to cut. I can't wait to find out what's gonna happen.
Agate Instigator.
Uh-oh.
A 1/3 lizard rogue with offspring, so I can't use the offspring.
Yes.
But whenever another creature I control enters, this deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Oh,
Oh no!
So that's a little scary.
that is very scary.
Those boss's chauffeurs are fireballs.
Yeah, if I can get these to die, then this will kill
How will you
everybody.
possibly get them to die? They're so big.
Well, I don't have a sacrifice outlet or anything. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh-oh.
Okay, back to you, Kathleen.
I'm going to play a Coiling Oracle.
Oh, nice.
A Coracle.
Ah.
When I cast a spell, put a target on target creature. Who's going to draw a card?
I
Graham,
have
you can
5
draw
in
a
hand.
card. You're out of
Sure.
hand. You're out of cards.
Yay.
All right.
And then did we draw an extra card this turn already from Rites of Flourishing?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay. You reminded me on my turn, so
Yeah.
it's only fair. And then Coiling Oracle trigger.
Is it a land card? It is. It goes into the battlefield. It enters tapped unless you control 2 or few other lands. Well, that's annoying, because I definitely control more than 2 lands, but it's still a land. I am going to play a Forgotten Ancient. Remember this card?
Yep.
That's a second counter on Mrs. Bumbleflower. I'm going to cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. Graham, draw another card.
Whee!
Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You know what? I'm going to put it on my Coiling Oracle. My Coracle is a 2/2 now. That's very fun. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw 2 cards. I will. Thank you. I'm going to cast Quain, Itinerant Meddler. Another Bun. That's another Bumbleflower thing. I cast a spell. I got to put a +1/+1 counter on Mrs. Bumbleflower again, so she's an even better blocker. And then who's going to draw a card?
I have 5.
You have 5? 5, 2. You can draw a card.
Yay!
So many cards. And I can tap him, and each player may draw a card, and then each player who drew a card this way gains a life. So also a very fun card for everyone.
Haven't given me any cards yet.
Miss Bumbleflower has never given you any cards? You've been a little bit terrifying and menacing like the whole game.
Yeah.
Not that everyone else has
They're
it.
just little guys.
Go ahead.
At the end of your turn, I'm gonna sack Steve and go get a forest.
After you make your 3rd Embercool's worth of squirrels, people start to really notice.
They don't have annihilator at all.
That's true. They don't have an annihilator.
You know how like the Eldrazi use different body parts to decorate themselves? Can you imagine one just using squirrel teeth?
Oh.
It's a big buck tooth.
Unfortunately,
Eldrazi.
yes.
I hate
The answer is yes. I can imagine it. I wish I hadn't had to, but it's too late for that now.
All right, I will begin the great untapping,
You got to draw 2 cards.
and I will draw 2 cards because of Rites of Flourishing. And now I have to read some cards.
Yeah, when the Eldrazi come to Bloomburrow, it's going to make people upset.
I'm going to play a forest. It's 1 land so far. A Thran Dynamo.
Nice.
Big fan of Thran Dynamo. Taps for 3 colorless, though currently is also a 4/4 with Indestructible and Haste. I will also tap 5 to play Thickest in the Thicket. When it enters, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature where X is that creature's power.
Oh my god, it's actually that version of Thickest.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Look, this raccoon and mouse, I guess, they're doing barbells.
And it says no pain, no fame.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I'll make Bellow larger.
Thicker.
Make Bellow thicker. At the beginning of my end step, draw 2 cards if I control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power, which I do not, because
12 bosses, chauffeur.
those things are enormous. And then I'll tap the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Gratuitous Violence. If a creature I control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead.
Oh. I hate that.
Then I'm going to move to combat. I was wondering when the relevant part of the deck to the commander was going to arrive, and it has.
This turn, it turns out.
This turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. They're so big.
I got some big friends, yeah.
And then they're going to explode into pain.
Only if they die,
Yeah.
which they can't do in this combat. Because even my 4/4s can only deal
8 damage.
8
yeah.
damage total. Luminous Broodmoth only does its thing with non-tokens, right?
It's really just the non-token, non-flying creatures that are affected, which I have 3 of.
And returning that boss's chauffeur as a flyer.
Yeah, if I can get it to die.
He wants it to die.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
He wants to send that chauffeur into the wood chipper.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they put Goblin Bombardment in this deck, but we found an aristocrat situation here eventually.
Just flaying.
Yeah,
Just right
sure.
the face.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nelson, I'll attack you with all 3 of these.
Cool.
They're all just 4/4s with Indestructible.
So they-
Eska's Chariot triggers, I make another cat.
More cats. Do you need a cat?
Yes, please.
Does Bellow turn Gratuitous Violence into an indestructible 4/4?
Yeah.
Any non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment.
Wow.
So all of these.
Okay. I will block all of them.
Yeah.
I'll block the Gratuitous Violence with a 12/12, and I'll block the Thickest of the Thicket with an 11/11, and I'll block Eska's Chariot with a 2/2.
Cool.
All right. Hey, I get a 2/2
You're gonna
illusion.
get illusion token, yeah, assuming nothing else weird happens in combat.
Nope.
Cool. Here's your 2/2 illusion. This dies, I get a luminous broodmoth, couple of triggers. This is still in exile. Your stuff's all indestructible, right? So I just have some damage marks on my bosses.
Yep, that's it.
And then Skyclave ETBs with luminous broodmoth triggers. It's got flying, and
Ooh, what are you gonna exile?
I have to deal everyone 1 damage.
Aww.
Boop, boop, boop. That's just what the chaos. It's Graham's fault.
Fair.
I got chaos warped in, and then I'll exile something that is a non-land, non-token permanent. I don't control with mana value 4 or less. I will target Hazel of the root bloom with Skyclave.
In response,
Okay.
I would like to tap this and pay 2 life. Tap X untapped tokens I control and add X mana in any combination of colors. I'll just tap all these. So I've got 6, 11.
You just made 11 mana.
I just made 11 mana.
Great. Okay.
Sick.
I'm casting Second Harvest. So for each token you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent.
Cool.
So this goes up to 6. I get another one of these illusions. I get 3 more food that I'm going to crack for 6. So I would get
You're gaining
9 life. And then this is also double.
That's wild. Okay.
3, 9, yeah, that's enough of those. And then this goes back to the command zone.
And then you gain 9 life.
I gain 9 life.
Sweet.
It would have been better too if not for.
In my second main, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have done this beforehand and almost got Goozle because of it. Green, green, and Dynamo for the greater good.
Ooh.
Sack a creature, draw cards equal to that creature's power, then discard 3 cards. Just in case there's another Wrath. Okay. Go ahead.
Put these squirrels all in one pile until I need more. Draw 2.
Yep.
Tapping 3 to play Bastion of Remembrance, which is an enchantment. When it enters, I get a 1/1 white soldier creature token, and when a creature I control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life.
Oh no.
No more wraths for you!
Oh no. Oh boy.
I need
Okay.
a soldier.
Don't suppose that could have been on the battlefield when my
Nope.
Skyclave apparition
Nope.
entered.
I didn't have enough money.
I mean, how many creature tokens do you have?
I'm going to play Scurry of Squirrels, which
Oh.
is a 2/2 with Myriad, and whenever Scurry of Squirrels deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature I control.
Myriad.
Myriad!
So that means that one player gets attacked by 1 squirrel and the other 2 players get attacked by 2 squirrels each.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay.
Once it's
Once it attacks.
once it's ready.
That's awesome. I love that.
All right, say go.
Okay, I'm gonna sacrifice this Evolving Wilds. Okay,
And draw a second one.
right of flourishing.
I was trying to save Second Harvest for Scurry of Squirrels.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that would have been the nice thing.
That would have been neat.
It's so cool. So many squirrels.
Cori just wants to Bastion of Remembrance, everyone, huh?
Making copies of the
Myriad tokens.
myriad tokens, I think, because the tokens have myriad, and they aren't attacking, but they also don't have to get exiled.
Nope.
Right.
But the tokens have myriad.
Yes.
Well, that's
That's so
terrifying.
cool.
Yeah.
And they would all generate the counters.
Okay, I'll cast Ether Channeler with Offspring.
Gross.
This enters, I will return Bastion of Remembrance to its owner's hand. Boss Chauffeur, Agate trigger, and Boss Chauffeur trigger. Everybody loses 1 life. That's not me.
Boo.
Boo. I was saying boo words. And then copy of Ether Channeler enters. Everybody loses or takes 1 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll... God, math is hard. I'll make a bird. It's a 1/1 white bird creature token.
Cool.
And then everyone will take 1 damage.
Right.
Combat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This has +8 power. It's still not enough commander damage to take
No,
out
Cori's
Cori.
at 9 commander damage from Zinnia.
It's close, but it's not quite enough.
You could just wait another round.
But you still don't have any flying creatures,
No.
right? Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll hit you with Zinnia. That's so 8 damage we just said, right?
Yep.
And let's just send some boss chauffeurs at Graham and this luminous broodmoth as well at Cori. So we've still got some creatures to block, maybe. Okay, so it's an 8/3 commander bird at Cori and a 3/4 broodmoth at Cori, and then 2 boss chauffeurs at Graham.
All right. They don't have trample, right?
No, they're
Cool.
just large elves.
I'm going to block the 2 boss chauffeurs with a cat and Bellow, respectively, and then I'm going to sacrifice Bellow
Okay.
for the greater good to draw 6 cards and discard 3 cards.
Okay, that's fine.
Bellow goes back to the zone.
I take 11
Cori's at 17 commander damage
from Nelson.
which is very relevant.
Right.
I'm going to discard Rampant Growth and 2 lands.
Must be nice.
Graham. It's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I will pay 5 mana, including a blue and 2 white, and cast Time Wipe. Yes, it's the 3rd Wrath of God effect that this deck has offered me this game. So I think if I do this right, I can get there on Agate Instigator triggers.
Oh, you can, absolutely.
Yeah. The spell is return a creature I control to its owner's hand, then destroy all creatures. Assuming this works how I want it to, Luminous Broodmoth sees everyone dying, including these 2 creatures relevantly. And then also, this trigger is a when it dies trigger, and so are these triggers that say when it dies. So I just stack them so that I get the Agate Instigator in play first, and then I get the citizens. Now, if you have an instant, you'll be able to kill the Agate Instigator before the other things happen.
But
if not,
I'm completely tapped out.
Right. My plan is just to bring back my, probably one of the Luminous Broodmoths, actually. And then everything dies. So destroy all other creatures means I've got these 2 Boss Chauffeur triggers, and then 2 Luminous Broodmoth triggers, and then a bunch of other stuff that just dies.
You couldn't have let me keep the Bastion for this.
It was important that you not have the Bastion so that I don't also die. I mean, and also because it's my turn, my triggers go in the stack first and then yours go in the stack, so yours would just, so like I would die before you and then my triggers would leave the stack, so I don't even know if Graham and Kathleen would die, and you don't want that, right? So I have these 3 that want to come back with Broodmoth, those are just dead tokens. So I'll say first the Agate Instigator comes back, and then the Ether Channeler comes back, and then both of the boss's chauffeur tokens, piles of citizens come back, and then the last boss's chauffeur comes back. So I'm able to do this because they all just say when it dies. Broodmoth says when something dies, and then also boss's chauffeur says when this dies. So you can stack those in whatever order you want, whenever you have them. So Agate Instigator enters, and then Ether Channeler enters. I'll deal everyone 2, and then I'll deal everyone 24, and then 1 more. Does that work?
That
Anyone have
works.
anybody? Okay,
Holy
great.
moly.
Nice combo deck, Jeskai Birds.
Good job.
Thanks for the Chaos
Wow.
Warp.
Sweet.
Well played.
Yeah. Chaos Warp. That was so good for you.
Yeah, that you don't have to feel too guilty about your Agate Instigator killing everyone if you were just trying to get in with a little 16-1 Devilish Valet. Right?
These decks are super fun. My only possible criticism, and it's probably just cards I didn't draw, is that I would have expected the Raccoons deck to involve more rooting around in the trash.
Yes, you're playing Raccoons, but your paws didn't really reek of garbage. They just sort of like make an enchantment attack.
They just want to get big and hit you with stuff.
Yeah,
So,
excellent.
Very cool. Well, hey, that is going to do it for Elder Dragon Social Club. Reminder, of course, that this show is brought to you by our good friends at Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/EDSC to pick up one of these Precon decks for yourself, or some fun singles from these decks, like this one I just drew, Evercoat Ursine. It's a bear with Hideaway twice.
Nice.
It's bizarre. You can pick up cards for decks that you want to put together. A reminder also that one of the sponsors for the show is Dragon Shield, and you can go to store.loadingreadyrun.com to pick up some of the various sleeves that we offer, like the ones that Nelson was using today with The Kiss by Michelle Rapp, featuring Jason Vraska on it. If the sleeves are currently sold out, Trust me, we are trying to get them back in stock as quickly as we can. And finally, the show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We really appreciate it. Until next time, I have been Graham, joined by Cori,
Hey.
Nelson, Kathleen,
I'm a bunny.
and James was on tech. Matt Edges. Thank you all so much for watching. See you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.